Today is Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. All praises to the Most High God, Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shai, forever and ever, so let it be true. Love, honor, and respect to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and to His Holy Son, Yahweh Shai, who died for the 12 tribes of Israel. Matthew chapter 15, verse 24, Matthew chapter 10, verse 5 and 6. And double honors to the apostles of GMS, to the 4 major prophets, to the 12 minor prophets, and to the hopeful elect, the brothers, the Hakim, the 144,000, who are preaching the word of God on the 4 corners of this earth, risking their lives day in and day out to bring out this truth. And peace and blessings, shalom to my brothers, sisters, and children who are watching this video. We're on another lesson. So today we're going to talk about Iran. This is a few days back before the weekend, Friday going into Saturday. Iran says it is closing the Strait of Hormuz over Israeli strikes in Lebanon. Okay. Because they have that, that peace agreement. It's supposed to be a 60 days of understanding to stop the war. But like I said, those Amalekites, those Zionists in Israel, they don't want no peace. And the United States don't want no peace. All right, don't get things twisted. All right, they're just taking a pause for a minute because they need more missiles and it's going to take more time. They didn't think this was going to drag out like this, okay? But the Zionists in Israel, they're hell bent. They love to slaughter people, to kill children, women, the elderly. The whole world can see this. Not only that, the United States, we've been at war since for close to 250 years. I believe it's like 90% of the time we've been at war with somebody. This country makes money. This is how all these corporations make money, with war. It's a war. Not only do they make money for all their friends and family, they steal. They steal the gold, the silver, the artifacts, in all these countries around the world. But the world is waking up with these Zionists, these Amalekites that live in Israel. Okay, and Iran has showed the world who controls the strait. All right, the whole world can see it, that we have no control of it. Okay, so Iran, and it's closed right now. Okay, like I said, it looks like this is the year that everything's going to start collapsing in this country. Like I said, it was bad before this war, but this moves it along much faster. Okay, and like I said, I'm going to bring out a lot of more information about what's going on. That we're the reserves right now that are in Texas and Oklahoma. I believe it's Cushing, Oklahoma. It's a city in a small city. I'm gonna look at it, make sure it's the right. Give me the breakdown on Cushing, Oklahoma, with the oil reserves.
Oil in the U.S. It's known as the pipeline crossroads of the world and serves as the main pricing and storage center for West Texas Intermediate crude oil. It connects oil production areas to refineries nationwide.
So right here it says Cushing, Oklahoma, known as the pipeline crossroads of the world, is the pricing and warehousing hub for America's benchmark West Texas crude oil. The massive commercial hub acts as the core oil plumbing of the United States, connecting major production regions to refineries across the country. In the next couple of days, I'll bring out more information about this place, but just doing a little, just a real quick, we'll read into this. Cushing is currently undergoing historic and severe inventory drawdowns. That's why, if you notice, gases went down the last few weeks. It's because we're using the reserves, not only for the United States. We've been sending out ships to other parts of the world, but now it's at the bottom. Okay, and then the next few days I'm going to bring out, like I said, I write all this stuff down. It takes some time to get all this information out. Okay, hours. It's hours, and I'm writing everything down so I can bring out the news and tie the Holy Scriptures together. We're in big trouble. Okay, they're in big trouble. How I'm looking at things is Donald Trump. We're gonna bring that out. He came out and says we're going into a deep depression, and I'll put that video. It's a short 1 minute video. After this video, probably tomorrow, I'll put it up. And you're not gonna hear this in the news. It was a clip that happened a few days back. Like I said, a lot of this stuff, they're not gonna bring it out to you. All right, you have to do the research, and there's people that filmed it and they downloaded it. But like I said, a lot of that information is shadow banned. But he slips up in these interviews, just like when he said there was only 4 weeks left of the reserves. That was a couple weeks back. We're going to, it's at the bottom now with the reserves. Okay, so Cushing is currently undergoing historic, severe inventory drawdowns due to the surge in global demand caused by the ongoing war in Iran and disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz. The hub has been rapidly depleted. Okay, these are our reserves. You don't supposed to touch these reserves. This is for when we're at World War ground troops fighting Russia, that you're supposed to tap into this. These are our, like, this is the backup. And what happens when there's no more oil? All hell is going to break loose in America and the four corners of this earth. All right, this is serious. That's why we're warning the people. Like I said, they want to sacrifice. Donald Trump, he's in the know. Okay? He's in the know of what's going on. All right? He's a puppet. He's an actor. He's told what to do, but he sits down with the people who rule the world, which are the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. They're all one family. All right? Donald Trump, he's down here. Okay, like I said, he's He's a coffee boy. All right, your millionaires and even your low billionaires, they're coffee boys. Okay. Now the big guys, the wicked of the wicked, they have hundreds of billions and trillions. They came out a week ago saying Elon is the first trillionaire. No, he's not. There's a lot of trillionaires out there, but they don't want to be seen. They don't want nobody to know nothing about them. Right? They're pulling the strings though. Donald Trump, he knows what's going on. Like I said, he slips up. Before he said that about the 4 weeks thing, a couple weeks before that, he was saying we had so much oil, that we had more oil than Russia, China, not China, because China gets their oil from the Middle East. Russia has a lot of oil in the Middle East, which is Iran, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, all of the Middle Eastern countries, the Arab world. Okay, but he said we had so much oil, but during that whole time, to keep the prices from surging, we've been using our reserves. But like California, their gas prices in Southern California, Nevada, and Arizona, and Washington State has been getting hit the hardest. Okay, Denver, Colorado was getting close to $5, but in the West Coast they were seeing $5.50 all the way to $8. Just matters what area region you were in. Okay, and the whole country was getting hit, but mostly it was like $4.50, $4.70. But now it's dropped a good dollar. In some areas it's dropped $1.50. Okay, but we used all the reserves that are right here in Cushing, Oklahoma. You could read there's articles. I've been studying on it the last few days, writing it all down, but there's just, today's lesson is going to be about this, about really, I'm going to break down deeper on Isaiah chapter 13. But I'm going to put some more scriptures together, and we're going to talk more about what's really happening in Cushing, Oklahoma, in the next few weeks and months that are coming, which is going to be, well, in that article, in that interview with Donald Trump, he says if we didn't make this deal, and you can look up this article, that there would be Bedlam, and we're going to look up the word Bedlam, okay? That just means chaos. And we're going to talk about it here. Let me just read a little bit here. It says current levels, oil stocks at Cushing has dropped to roughly 19 to 20 million barrels. Operational crisis. The 20 million barrel mark is considered the operational stress level. Okay. While the hub has a total storage capacity of about 75 million barrels, much of the remaining volume consists of unusable sludge or tank bottom. We're at that level now. To the tank bottom, it's all sludge. We're in big trouble. And the strait is closed. Now, on the Western media, it's saying it's open. All right, Donald Trump, you have the vice president, you have your senators. It's open. It's open for Iran. Iran is letting their ships go out because they're making a lot of money, and they're taxing. There's a toll now on every ship because they have total control of the Persian Gulf, of the Red Sea, the Strait of Hormuz. They have the power. They have total control, not us. But the ships that are going out are going to China, Asia. It's their ships that are going out. There's nothing going to the United States or Israel. Okay? And they shut it down because of them, because of Israel striking Lebanon. Okay? But like I said, if you look at the bigger picture, the Rothschilds want this to come down. All right? They want this to come down. Those Zionists in Israel is going to bring the whole world's economy to the gutter. All right? They love chaos. They love chaos. And they want everybody to come to, they're going to bring them down. They're going to make them lose everything. And that's when they're going to start pushing. Well, after there's going to be a nuclear exchange. And it looks like it's going to happen in Iran. It looks like they're going to eventually drop the ball because they can't bully them. Okay, so they're going to have to drop an ICBM on Iran. All right, and there's going to be an exchange. All right, because Russia and China, they're sending short-range missiles. They're sending them hypersonic missiles. All right, this is behind the scenes that nobody. You're not going, like I said, you're not going to get this breakdown on ABC or CBS or Fox News. Okay, them actors are just it's a big distraction. All right, just like with the World Soccer, with all the entertainment, it's the bread and circuses. They're keeping you all entertained, but something it looks bad for the coming months, July, August, September, into fall. It looks like it's going to get bad. All right, so but look up if you want. It says market impact because Cushing provides the vast majority of deliverable crude for the WTI contract. Dwindling reserves has caused volatility in domestic oil prices. Dipping, that's why the oils went down. It's dipped to $70 a barrel. All right, but it's going to shoot right up because we're at the end now. All right, they wanted to open it up, start bringing these ships out, but the ships that are going out are only going to mostly to Asia. All right, but there's nothing coming to the United States, so it looks like they're going to let this all come down. And let's look up the word Bedlam. Well, first thing is, give me the article about Donald Trump saying we only have 4 weeks left, and if he didn't make a deal with Iran, there would be Bedlam. You can look up that article
At the G7 summit, Donald Trump warned that failing to make a deal with Iran would lead to Bedlam because global oil reserves were predicted to run out in 4 weeks. He argued that military action would cripple oil access and cause a major economic downturn.
Okay. Now let's look up, you can look up that article. There's a few articles on it. Bedlam. Most people have never even heard of that. That word. Let me go here. Give me the definition of Bedlam. If there was no more gasoline, oil, what would happen to society? Bedlam.
Bedlam means a chaotic scene or state of uproar. The word comes from the nickname of a London asylum. As for gasoline, the response doesn't address that question.
Says, let me see here. The word, let me see. If gasoline and oil disappeared tomorrow, modern society would experience a catastrophic global collapse. And already, today I was doing the studying on this. It was like 2-3 pages. I was writing things down about when the oil stops, the United States is going to be on fire. Okay, only people that are prepared are going to survive. Your average American, all right, what do they say? Average Joe, Tom, Philip, whoever, the regular American citizens, Becky, Susie, Patricia, this is your people that are out here walking around the park with their dog. They think everything's okay. It's not okay. Okay, it's not going to be okay for years. I mean, this is it. This is the last war. The war that you're seeing right now when you turn on ABC and they're talking about Iran. This is the last war. All right. This is it. All right, but it's going to take some years before America gets nuked to kingdom come. Okay, we're going to talk about that today. The United States, there's not going to be nothing left, and Israel, they're going to get hit, and they're already talking about the Samson solution. I watched the video. There's so much I can't even keep up with this stuff, but some of these Zionists, they're on television saying they'll take the world with them. So they're already talking about nuclear strikes. that nuclear strike is going to happen on Iran. And they want to hit Russia. In the last couple of weeks, they've been hitting Russia, Ukraine, but we're behind that. Ukraine gets all their drones from the United States and Israel. That's in the back rooms. This is for your American citizens don't know nothing, right? They know nothing. I'm on a video. I'll call you back. Excuse me, sorry about that. So, they know nothing. But they're gonna find out real quick here. The Hunger Games is coming. And survival, you're gonna have to get into survival mode. Mentally, physically, and spiritually, only the strong will survive. Many people, they're just gonna take themselves out. Once they see this, like watching this unfold and people jumping out of buildings, because that's what's gonna happen. And then today, the last couple of weeks, man, gold and silver has been getting hit, Bitcoin, they're trying to say the dollar is strong. I mean, there's so much manipulation that's happening right now. Like I said, it's called shaking the trees. They're getting people to sell their assets, and you have the major banks, you got the billionaires. They're gonna just take everything, and they're gonna let you kill each other. That's the game plan. They're gonna watch. That's why they have these cameras everywhere. They're gonna watch it all go down. All right. They want chaos out of order. But let's go on. Like I said, we're gonna talk about this in the next couple of days. It says, if gasoline and oil disappeared tomorrow, modern society would experience a catastrophic global collapse, perfectly amplifying true bedlam. Total transportation halt, road, aviation, and shipping would immediately stop. Grocery stores rely heavily on the logistics network and typically only carry a few days worth of stock. What I today when I was looking up, if the pumps, if people were going to the gas stations, because that's what's going to be happening like probably within weeks and months, where you're going to go to the gas station, they're just going to have yellow tape, no gas. They're going to be all over the city, all over the state. People are going to be all over trying to find gas. They're gonna run out of gas, looking for gas. Okay, you see where I'm going here? They said within one day the grocery stores will be gone. You know, they already know what's going to happen. They've been studying. All right, they do the mind psychology. They've been working on this for decades. Your elites, they're going to be fine. They got their underground rat holes, all right, their underground bunkers. They're going to be fine. It's the regular 99.9% of Americans out here. They're not going to be fine. Only the people who were prepared, like Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, the great men of the Holy Book. The rest of these people are done. All right, it's just going to get ugly. Mass starvation, but all your highways, I mean, everything's going to stop. From the farms to your grocery stores, all food. Grocery stores are just going to be wiped out. All right, you're going to see people rage into the streets. There's going to be mass starvation. Farm machinery, tractors, fishing fleets rely on diesel. Agriculture production would grind to a halt, leading to a global food shortage and mass famine within weeks. Energy grid failure. Now, all these women, like I said, I'm hard on women. All right. You know, I have love for my sisters in this truth. I have love for my brothers. I do have love for my sisters, the ones that are doing the right thing. And if you weren't doing the right thing, but you're in this truth now, and you're doing the right thing, you're forgiven. When you go to the Most High in His Son's name, Yahweh Shai. That name is key. That's the key. All right. It's not Jesus. It's not God. All right. It's not Jehovah. It's not Yahweh. He has a name. His holy name is Yahweh Shai. That's the only way to the Father. That's the only way to the kingdom. Okay? But you're forgiven. If you come true, if you come 100%, you're going to be forgiven. And God says He will feed His people who do the right thing on the right-hand side. But the half-steppers, the lukewarm, people that are on the left-hand side, they step on the holy book, they throw the holy book behind their back, but God's gonna put your feet to the fire. This is a serious thing here. All right? You look in the holy book. He says about the prophets, the servants of the Lord, were rude in speech. All right? We're rough around the edges over here. All right? But we have a big heart. We have a lot of mercy. All right? A lot of people, they get upset because I get right to the point here. All right? This is not a joke. This is not a game. And we don't supposed to be living the good life. All right? We're not supposed to be living this life of prosperity like the wicked. The wicked are living their life. This is their kingdom. And now their kingdom is ending. All right? Their kingdom is finished. All right? See, we mourn for the Lord. And that's my ancient Hebrew name, Ak Shalawan, which means brother of sorrow. I'm in sorrow. Okay? And all of our brothers and sisters should be in sorrow. All right? No, I'm not saying for you to roll up and go in the attic and never see light. All right? Don't get things twisted over here. All right? Don't get things twisted. You can go for a walk. I love going for a walk. I go to the parks all the time. I go to the mountains. I love to be around nature. I love being by the trees. All right? I have German shepherds at home. I have cats. I have animals, you know. But I'm not like with balloons. You're not going to see me at the clubs and park. You're not going to see me dancing. All right? That's mocking the Lord. Okay? In the kingdom, I'm going to be brother of happiness. I'm going to live the good life in the kingdom. But that's in the kingdom. That's not right now. I have work to do. That's why God said, He said, I will send out my men. They will become fishers of men through the World Wide Web. So people from all over the world can see. Okay? They're watching. But like I said, only a small remnant is going to make it. And that's in the Holy Book. The little flock. Okay, but this is a serious thing that's happening. And it looks like this is the year that things are just going to... He's coming. We're going into July, August, September. It looks like it's going to get dark. Okay? But mass starvation, energy, grid failure, critical shortages, your water's going to stop, your electricity's going to stop, all these kids playing on the phones, it's over. That's all I see, these kids. When I go to the grocery store, most of these young people that work at the grocery stores are, they're young, they're like 18, 19. Most of them are women, and they're just playing on their phone. Like I took my niece to, she wanted to go buy socks and a few things at the Walmart. I try to avoid Walmart at all costs, but I took her there and I went with her inside the store. Everything's behind glass too now. You get socks, shorts, mostly everything's behind glass. Okay, and we went there, and then we're in line. This girl, all the girls that they have at the register, they're slow. I mean, you're gonna wait for. They're just slow. I can see why they're pushing for these robots to take over their jobs. And they just play on their phones. They're playing on their phones. They're giggling. It's just like I said. These people don't have no respect. But they're gonna learn some respect. Everybody in this country, everybody on the four corners of this earth, they're gonna learn some respect. all right? Because there ain't gonna be no more. So I think within a few months, a lot of these grocery stores, you're not gonna even be able to go inside stores to shop. Okay, this is when everything really goes down, and they bring back order after everything is collapses. They're gonna bring order with tanks, martial law, and then the grocery stores. This is gonna be in the future. They're gonna be where you don't walk into the grocery stores. Everything's gonna be online. You'll roll up. They'll take the food to your house, or you're gonna roll up, and there's gonna be police officers outside, and there's gonna be people that take your groceries into your car. They do it now, but it's gonna be where you don't go in the grocery stores at all. Those days are coming. All right. I mean, the grocery stores that walking around the malls. Those malls they're on their last leg. All your malls, Macy's and Dillard's and all that, they're on their way out. J.C. Penney's, everything's going to be on where you order and it gets delivered. And drones are going to be taking your packages. All right, that's already happening with UPS. What is the other ones? Amazon. All the corporation. They're getting rid of them. There ain't gonna be no more truck drivers. Like I said, they're purging. But you can look it up. I'm gonna bring this out in a few days. We're gonna talk about the critical shortages, energy grid failure, economic collapse. Then there'll be a civil unrest when there's no oil. All right, and then people are gonna be living like I've been living for 40 years with no heat. I don't put heat during the winter. I like to roll myself in blankets. It's the principle. Has nothing to do with money. I'm in deep prayer when it gets 5, 10 below. You get real close to God. And people are going to find out this winter, they're not going to have, it looks like no one's going to have electricity or heat. Okay, because when the oil goes out, there's going to be, the power's going out. And if you're living in Phoenix, Tucson, during the summer, Las Vegas, Palm Springs, you're going to be finished. It's going to be like living in a hot oven. And then when winter comes, and I've been seeing tornadoes. I mean, it's been wild. There's been a lot of rain out there in Texas. There's been this wild weather. And then I got to bring out the El Nino. They were showing with the satellites. This looks like the biggest El Nino. So certain areas are going to get like a lot of rain, and then there's going to be areas where it's just going to be just hot, above 10, 15 degrees hotter than normal. With what's going on right now in Europe, like I said, I can't even keep up with everything. France and England, I think they were saying, I know Spain and England was hitting, I think, 104 degrees. I think Spain was hitting 108 to 110. It's a mass heat wave over there. All the rivers are drying up. I mean, everything is just coming together right now. And there was an earthquake in Northern California, 5.5. All right, the big earthquakes are coming, mega ones. We're talking about 7s, 8s, and 9s that are coming. And wait, when those missiles hit the earth, that's going to trigger earthquakes all over the world. All right, but like I said, if you're part of the elect, God says His people are going to eat. So going back over here to Iran says it is closing the Strait of Hormuz over Israeli strikes in Lebanon. Israel just destroyed Trump's peace agreement. United States panics as Hormuz is closed. Yes, it's closed to the United States. It's closed to Canada, to anybody that's part of the West, especially Israel. Okay. I think Canada even has their own oil, but their whole economy is going into the gutter. It says, Israel just destroyed Trump's peace agreement. United States panics as Hormuz is closed. Israeli strikes killed 32. This is over the weekend in Lebanon, putting the U.S.-Iran talks in peril. Lebanon says Israeli attacks have killed more than 4,000 people since March. This is in Lebanon. And remember, they crossed into their land because they believe it's part of Greater Israel. Okay, and then they have the audacity when, because they've been killing the Israeli soldiers with drones. They're killing them with machine guns, but they're killing them with drones, small little drones, about the size of this notebook. They're killing them left and right. All right, and they're crying about it. All right, they're saying, and when they kill, they're saying every time they kill a group of people, civilians, they're always saying it's self-defense. All right, and they just killed a press. She was an American. I have to bring that out. There's, like I said, I can't. There's so much going on. They shot a press. They've been killing. I think they've killed hundreds. It could be over 1,000 now of the press. This girl was behind a tree. We'll bring out her name. I can't think of her name right now. But they ended up shooting. A sniper shot her right in her face and killed her. Not only did they kill her, when they the funeral and the pallbearers were holding her, and when they were walking, the Israeli police, you can look this up, they attacked the mourners. They attacked the pallbearers holding the casket, where the casket fell. They were hitting them with batons. These people are sick, but like I said, God's going to purge that whole Israel is going to be gone. All those Amalekites are wicked and evil, right? That's the most wicked seed on the planet, are the Zionists, are those false synagogue of Satan, his children, all right, those Amalekites. That's the grandson of Esau, all right? But be patient, the time is coming. That whole land is going to be purged with nuclear fire, all right? We're going to, like I said, we'll break down Ezekiel 38, because all these Christians in the Christian rule here in America, the Baptists, Pentecostals, the Jehovah's, the Roman Catholics, the pagans, they all think that those are God's chosen people, which is a joke, all right? Like I said, the whole world was deceived. The whole world, but only God's elect. Only 1%, which is God's elect on the right-hand side, and the elites, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Epsteins. They know who the real Israelites, they know who the real Hebrews are. And we're in captivity right here in America. All right, that's why they have a perfect hatred towards us. All right, they have a perfect hatred because they're jealous because we have the covenant and not them. All right, but they're going to lose. They're going to lose. And like I said, every day that goes by, more people hate the Zionists. Every day that goes by. And you could go on YouTube and you could see the IDF, the Israeli soldiers, breaking down doors, destroying property, raping. They attack girls. I seen one where they were chasing some girl. They threw a grenade at her. I mean, these guys are some straight up cowards, man. I know. When you're at war, you know, you get prisoners of war, but you treat them with respect and dignity. All right, that's the right way. Okay, you feed them. You don't torture them. These people, these Amalekites, they love torture. And you'll see their true colors on their. You look at these so-called Zionists. Look what they said. The men and women, they're sick. They all want to just kill. They love when the people bring out that they're killing children. They don't care. They even laugh and giggle and everything. People in the government, they're laughing. Just watch these people. And people, if you read the comments, people are saying these people are sick. This is pure evil, but thank God for the World Wide Web, because people are waking up that these people are parasites. They're the parasites of the earth. Okay? They're the parasites. And what do you have to do to parasites? You gotta kill them with fire. What do you think cancer is? Parasites. And that information is just really good. They know how to kill it. Okay? The pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. All right? But there's ways of killing parasites out of the body. But like I said, it's a $1 trillion industry. They want you sick, and not only that, all the stuff that they're putting in the food is criminal. These people should be locked up and hanged. I mean, they need to be tortured. These people that are putting the chemicals on our foods, what they're doing to the oceans, what they do to animals, what they do to human beings. Yeah, those people. I just want to I can't wait when God just nukes them off the face of the earth. But they have to come back for their 1,000 years of slavery, and then they're going to be purged. All right, and that's in the Holy Book of it talks about us putting shackles on them in the Holy Book of Psalms. I believe it's Psalms 149. We're going to get these people, and then at the end, after the 1,000 years of slavery, we're going to purge them. They'll never walk on the face of the earth again. But they're going to get it. We're going to get them good in the kingdom. We're going to make them work hard. Okay, we're going to make them work hard day in and day out. The only time they're going to have a day's rest is on the Sabbath. Okay, that's it. The other days they're going to be working hard. So they so far in Lebanon, they killed 4,000 people since March. Iran said it is closing the Strait of Hormuz after waves of Israeli strikes in Lebanon. In a move that threatens to derail the fragile interim peace deal with the U.S. signed just days ago, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps warned ships not to approach the strategic waterway, which before the war carried a fifth of the global oil and liquid gas supplies, citing what is called Israeli crimes in Lebanon and a U.S. violation of commitments to establish a ceasefire there. Destruction is the goal. All right, the destruction. Israel, their whole mindset is to kill everything. All right, kill everything. That's the goal. That's the Zionists. And not only that, they're not only going after Iran. They have their sights. It shows their leadership. There's videos out there. They're talking about Egypt is on the hit parade. They're on the bullseye. They want Egypt, and they want to take out the Eastern Roman Empire, the Constantinople, Istanbul. Today they call it Turkey. They want them out. They're not going to stop until they take everybody out. They want to kill everybody. They only want their people on this earth and maybe 30 million people of slaves. Okay, like I said, these people are the devil. All right, but they're gonna get it. So let me see right here. Destruction is the goal. Israeli steers between the U.S. and Iran and Lebanon. Netanyahu, the prime minister, faces political backlash and U.S. criticism as Israeli attacks on Lebanon defy Iran peace agreement. All right, and like I said, Donald Trump, he has no power. He's always saying, "Oh, the prime minister, he listens." No, he doesn't. There's a video of him talking about how they're gonna just beat down the American citizen. All right. They're gonna make you pay for everything. They're gonna cut you open. They're gonna make you bleed. They're gonna whip you, beat you down. They're gonna make you pay for all these wars. They're showing the world there is no democracy in the United States. Like I said, the joke is on you. We've known this for decades, and we've been laughed at. We told the people they were sacrificing children, drinking their blood, these elites. It shows you in the movie Soylent Green that they were grinding human beings with the dead animals, mixing them together. My dad told me from back in the 70s, he told me not to be eating the hamburger here in America. He said, man, they get meat from all over the place, and they just mix it up, and then they color it red. It's just like, it's just sickening. Like I said, a lot of these where they cremate people. They're getting their bodies. Like I said, people don't believe this, but it's true. They get the bodies and they mix it with dead cows, probably all kinds of different animals, man. There's probably even rats in there. They just mix it all up, and you're taking your family to Ronald McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, all these places, man, and you're eating human. You're eating rats. You're eating all kinds of. They're mocking you. Like I told you, America is the great experiment. Right? They're just seeing how far these people will go before they snap. And then when you finally do snap, when these dumb Americans finally do snap, it's too late. It's already too late. They got the robots and the drones to kill you. It's too late. It's too late. The only way you're going to make it is through Yahweh Shai, through the Lord. All right? And this is payback. What's happening to America, this country was built on blood. Always remember that. This country was built on blood. They called the tribes of Israel, which are the Native Americans, savages. They weren't savages. They were showing the pilgrims, because the land here is different than Europe. They were showing them the right way. The only tribe that bucked up, that didn't want to shake hands with Esau, was the Seminoles, which is that's Jacob's oldest son, Reuben. That was the Seminole Wars. When they seen the pilgrims, when they seen those ships, it was on. It was on. Those are the Seminole Wars. That's his, Jacob's first son, Reuben. All right, but you had Gad and Issachar. They were shaking hands and trying to be friends with them, and they broke every treaty. All right, like I said, the whole world can see. All right, the whole world knows that the United States has no credibility, or they have no honor, no nothing. This place is on its way out. All right, the writing is on the wall for this place. All right, but like I said, I think it's going to drag on 4, 5, 7 years. All right, but we are going to see, maybe by the end of the year, a nuclear exchange between Iran, Russia, and with Israel. It's going to be Israel, man, and the United States is right there with them, because everything that Israel has comes from the United States. Just remember that. We're going to get into it right now. So, political backlash and U.S. criticism excuse me, as Israel attacks on Lebanon defy Iran peace agreement. Israel immediately responded to that agreement by pounding Lebanon, killing at least 47 people on Friday, according to the Lebanese Ministry of Public Health. So far they've killed over 4,000. Most of them are civilians. All right. These cowards. All right. They love killing. We're not even talking about all the people they killed in Palestine. Okay. These people they're parasites of the world. All right, but people can see what they're doing, and they don't want no peace. All right, we don't want no peace. Donald Trump plays his role where he says, "Oh no, we're going to sit down." No, he wants to destroy them. He's a very wicked man. All your senators or Congress, these women are getting kickbacks in the back. They're in the back room. They're cutting up all the money for their families. All right, and they know what's coming. They know that chaos is coming. Bedlam is coming to America. All right. So four Israeli soldiers were killed overnight by the armed Lebanese group Hezbollah, prompting Israel's far-right national security minister Ben-Gvir to say that all of Lebanon must burn. This is another creep. He's a real demon. Like I say, watch the videos on their the whole ministry, their whole cabinet, their generals, and they've been getting hit. A lot of their commanders have been getting killed. It's beautiful. They're getting hit. These Amalekites. And remember, Iran, they destroyed cities. The cities that are in Israel, they hit so many buildings, and like I said, you get charged. You can go to prison if you're an Israeli citizen and you post anything online. You're facing, I believe it's 10 years in prison, because they don't want to show the world that they got their ass kicked. Right? Just like the United States, they still deny a lot of this stuff. But big newspapers like the New York Times, and you have the Hill, and you have the Washington Journal, all right, and you have European media that shows satellite images that all U.S. bases were destroyed. But like I said, everything that comes out of these people's mouth is a lie. And like I said, hundreds of our soldiers were killed, and they're still keeping that on the down low, saying that there's only been 17 or something like that. All these bases get hit and 17 guys are dead. All right, let's get real here. All right, they don't want you to know the numbers. It could be 800, it could be 1,000, it could be 2,000. We don't know. All right. And then when they said they went to go save that one pilot, all these helicopters were destroyed. I mean, it was like a bloodbath. Who knows how many of American soldiers and Israeli soldiers were killed during that little rescue. All right, could have been dozens. They're getting their ass kicked though, that's for sure. So let's go right here. The Rothschild Federal Reserve, Israel, and the Holy City. The state of Israel is connected to America in a very secret way. So the state of Israel is connected to the American federal system, which we've been saying that forever over here on this side. All right, there's no democracy. You don't vote no president. They make you, that's the illusion. So all the times that you were voting, it was all a waste of time. Your vote never counted nothing. All right. Now maybe these little small cities and towns where people go and they put in someone that's from the town, those things that you could play those little games. But when it comes to the big, when it comes to your president and wars, you have no control. Not even those senators in Congress, they have no, that's why we cross borders, they don't even go to Congress. It just bypasses everything. They just go in and they kill at will. And then that's why you American citizens are gonna get it here, because you never stood up for the people around the world. You don't stand up for Palestine. You didn't stand up for Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria, all right? Libya. I mean, we bombed so many damn places that it's unreal. We've dispersed millions and millions of people, and we've killed millions and millions of people. We've destroyed so many elementary schools, high schools, colleges, museums. I mean, we've done, and these people right there just riding their bikes with their kids. That American spirit here, it's unreal. The people here are so evil. They're so evil. They see what's happening from decades of what's happened to the Middle East. They don't care. As long as it's not their children and they can live their little life of fraud and lies and deceit, they're fine with it. And that's why God's going to bring wrath, more wrath and destruction is coming to America than anywhere else in the world. This is the July 4th of all 4th is going to be right here in America. Remember, like Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil, they're not going to get hit with no missiles. New Zealand, certain places around the world, they're not going to get hit. It's the United States that's going to be hit from coast to coast. There's going to be nothing here. And when we talk about the end of the world, it's the end of the biggest government or the biggest mountain. That's America. Now, Europe, a few places in Europe is probably going to get hit. Russia will be hit, and the Middle East is going to be hit. and Israel is going to be completely gone off the map. Because we've got to go back home. That has to be purged. Okay? And it's going to happen. So the state of Israel, the Federal Reserve, the Rothschild family, they're the ones that control the United States, Israel, the Vatican, Europe. It's all connected to the American federal system. It is very interesting why America sends billions and billions and billions of dollars every year since 1948. We send billions. We built their military. Okay, remember that? What was that 6-Day War and all these with Egypt and all that? We're behind that. They're trying to add all these Christian churches, and they're saying, "Oh, the God's with His people," and all this. No, those are the children of the devil. All right. They know that's the apple of God's eye. All right. That's why it's in the book that the natural Gentiles. You have an unnatural and you have a natural. The natural Gentiles are the heathens. All right, like your Donald Trump, your Joe Biden, Carmela, or whatever her damn that. What's her name? Kamala, and the Clintons, and the Bushes. Those are all natural Gentiles, and that's why I told you if they knew this whole truth, they would have burned all the holy books. But God is the great deceiver that's in the holy book of Job, because they think they're a part of this. They think they're part of the Gentiles that could be saved. That's the unnatural. You have the natural Gentile and an unnatural Gentile. The unnatural Gentiles are the brothers and sisters that left out of the holy city back in the ancient times. Once they left out of the holy city, they become unnatural because they started to become Hellenists. They started to learn the language, the Greek language and the Latin, or the different dialects of the surrounding area of the, throughout the Mediterranean, Asia. They started to learn the ways of the heathen, the state of mind, the mind. They started to learn their ways, their holidays, their pagan. They worshiped their pagans. All right, they became prostitutes, whoredom. Right, but our people are the unnatural. You have the natural, That's why it says in the book that the natural Gentiles will rule to the end of time, at the end. But then that's when God's going to purge them, bring all the nations. The Most High is going to bring all the nations so His Son could kill them. It's in the book. It's in the book. He's going to kill them. All the armies of the world. All those armies He's going to gather in the Middle East. Okay. That's in we could go to Isaiah 66. People really think at these churches, they think the Lord's coming back with cupcakes. It's I was reading in 65 where God talks about, the Lord says, I am making a new earth and a new heaven. That's Isaiah chapter 65 verse 17. The new creation, where the Lord Yahweh Shai, I am making a new earth and new heavens. The events of the past will be completely forgotten. Everything that we see now is going to be forgotten. Be glad and rejoice forever in what I create. The new holy city I will make will be full of joy, and her people will be blessed happy. I myself will be filled with joy because of the holy city and her people. There will be no weeping there, no calling for help. Babies will no longer die in infancy, and all people will live out their lifespan. Those who live to be 100 will be considered young. To die before that would be a sign that I had punished them. People will build houses and get to live in them. They will not be used by someone else. They will plant vineyards and enjoy the wine. It will not be drunk by others like trees. Like my people who live long lives, they will fully enjoy the things that they have worked for. The work that they do will be successful, and their children will not meet with disaster. I will bless them and their descendants for all time to come. Even before they finish praying to me, I will answer their prayers. Wolves and lambs will eat together. Lions will eat straw, and cattle do, and snakes will no longer be dangerous. On the holy city of Zion, my sacred hill, there will be nothing harmful or evil. But now let's go to, that's going to be in the future. That's for us, brothers and sisters, the little flock. There ain't going to be no rent. There's no mortgage. All right? There's not going to be no one taking money out of your hard labor. All right? There's not going to be no forever chemicals in the water. No one's going to be sick. There ain't going to be no hospitals, because we're going to eat the most beautiful fruit and vegetables on the earth. Everything will be in abundance. That's the future. But when you jump on 66 now, like I said, when you read the Holy Book, it goes all over the place. Right? It's not like reading a Harry Potter book or green eggs and whatever. Disney books and all this stuff. It's not like reading it from beginning to end. It jumps all over the book. Everything's is connected. There's just God, the way He put the book together. You have to have the Holy Spirit, and you'll see you'll get the whole picture. Okay, but when we jump to Isaiah 66, Yahweh judges the nations. His son, well, actually the son, Yahweh Shai, is going to judge the nations. So let's drop down to 66 verse 15, where the Lord says, the Lord Yahweh Shai will come with fire. He will ride on the wings of a storm to punish those He is angry with. By fire and sword He will punish all the people of the world whom He finds guilty, and many will be put to death. Right? That doesn't sound like what the churches say. He's coming back with cupcakes and lollipops, and He forgives everybody. No, He's not forgiving everybody. He's only forgiving His people, the ancient Hebrews, and we're on the four corners of this earth. We look like the nations. That's the unnatural Gentile. Okay. The unnatural Gentile is brothers and sisters moving all over the world. All right, we mixed with them, but you go back to your father's seed. Okay, 1/3 is righteous. 2/3 of our people are wicked. They're going to be destroyed. 2/3 of our people are going to die because they believe in this system. They believe in the beast system. All right, they became their minds became carnal, so they're going to be destroyed. But 1/3 of our people are going to be saved because we became unnatural Gentiles, but now we're coming back to who we are, to our nationality. All right, that we're Hebrews. All right, and they beat us down not to know who we are. Remember that, because they know who we are. Right? Even when Columbus, Queen Isabella, they knew this side of the world were Israelites. It's in the Holy Book. All right, King Solomon. All right, he sent ships to the New World on this side of the world. All right, and they knew the 10 tribes were there, and they spoke ancient Hebrew. All right. That's why they would send Hebrews on the ships to speak with the people, because they Queen Isabel, they knew that they went on this side of the world, that God sent them. That's in the Holy Book of the ten lost tribes, from Canada all the way down to South America. Okay. But when he comes back, when the Lord comes back, he's going to destroy the natural Gentiles, all those nations. They're going to get it, starting with Esau and the Amalekites and those nations, the Moabites, the Ammonites, all of them. He's going to get them all. The Lord will come with fire. He will ride on the wings of a storm to punish those he is angry with. By fire and sword he will punish all the people of the world whom he finds guilty, and many will be put to death. The Lord says, the end is near for those who purify themselves for pagan worship, who go in procession to sacred gardens, and who eat pork and mice and other disgusting foods. I know their thoughts and their deeds. I am coming to gather the people of all the nations. When they come together, they will see what my power can do, and will know that I am the one who punishes them. But I will spare some of them and send them to the nations and to the distant lands that I have not heard of my fame or seen my greatness and power, to Spain, Libya, Lydia, with its skilled bowmen, and to Tubal and Greece. Among these nations they will proclaim my greatness, and they will bring back all your fellow countrymen from the nations as a gift to me. They will bring them to my sacred hill in the holy city of Jerusalem, on horses, mules, and camels, and in chariots and wagons, just as Israelites bring grain offerings to the temple in ritually clean containers. I will make some of them priests and Levites, just as the new earth and the new heavens will endure my power, so your descendants and your name will endure forever and ever. On every new moon festival and every Sabbath, people of every nation will come to worship me here in the holy city, says the Lord. And that's talking about the 12 tribes that were all over the world. All right, like I said, we have people that are blondes, red hair, dark skin, light skin. We're all over the world, and that's what he's talking about here, the 12 tribes. Not only that, the other heathens, this is after the nuclear destruction, they're all going to know the Holy Book, and they're all going to have to bring gifts to the Lord. And we're going to let them, the nations, the Chinese, the Japanese, Russians, people that live in India, all throughout Asia, all the nations, all right, they're going to live at peace with us, and we're going to treat them with respect and dignity, not like how Esau treats the earth. All right, we have class over here. All right, the ones that are going to get it though is Esau and those Amalekites. They're going to be building the cities on the earth. We're going to be whipping them. All right, do you ever watch those old movies about the Egyptians, how they would whip the people? Well, that's going to be like in our kingdom. We're going to be whipping those Edomites and Amalekites. Okay, just hope that you're an Israelite, and a good sign is if you're spiritual, you believe in the Holy Book, because only the 12 tribes, the descendants, the Hebrews, we're the only ones that have a connection with the book and with God. We're spiritual people. Okay, like I said, we look like the nations. We look like the people of the world. Okay, so we have people in Europe, Eastern Europe, Russia, that are Hebrews. But like I said, you're going to have the other nations, the natural Gentiles. They're going to live at peace with us during that time, and they're going to bring gifts. It's in the book. And if they don't bring gifts, then God's going to bring famine on their land. That's in the book. Whoever tries to buck up, they'll be dealt with. But they're not gonna. I mean, you would have to be totally out of your mind to fight against the Lord, Yahushua. All right, but that there's a warning there, and then America will be a hot springs. It'll be a warning to all the nations that are on the earth not to be like that wicked country, America. But going back to these Rothschilds and how they control the United States, Israel, the Vatican, the Holy City right now, the Federal Reserve System, we send out them billions of dollars. We take care of their health. We build everything there. We built those cities. Tel Aviv, the cities that are in Israel, U.S. taxpayer labor built Israel, okay? Why America sends billions and billions of dollars, all the valuable things in the world going to their military, their ICBMs, their tanks. We fund their army, their fighter jets, their satellites. The United States funds, really the Federal Reserve funds the armed forces. U.S. taxpayer dollars cover active duty, compensation, housing, healthcare, advanced equipment, infrastructure, military housing, and on and on and on. Okay, I'll bring out, there's more to this, but I know this video we're probably going to I have all this I need to read. I'll just bring out this video tomorrow, but we're gonna break down Isaiah chapter 13 more deep. I mean, that Isaiah chapter 13 is talking about now. Okay, that video is going to be called America, Edom, Rome, and the Nazis. And we're going to talk about the great city, about America. We're going to talk about, when you look up citizens, that it's citizens is recognized as a legal member of a country. Okay, we're going to get into that. I was going to talk about it today, but this video is going to be too long. But we're going to get into that, and I'll bring out more information about what's going on in Iran with the strait, how it's closed, but we're saying it's open. We're going to get more into that. Things ain't looking good, and I hope all you brothers and sisters got a little bit of information. Hope you were edified. All praises to the Most High God. Thank you for watching Tawada. Most High willing, I'll be here tomorrow. Tawada, thank you.